Good afternoon, it's currently Friday the 5th of July and I'm finally back recording. I have a half day from work today because I've got some exciting plans coming up. So I'm going to be spending the day reading, recording and hopefully getting my booktube thing back in order because I've been absolutely awful lately. Basically what happened was things at work got shifted around again and then it got really busy and then I went away on holiday for 2 weeks and that really threw me off. And then Quill also started a new job, which has kind of made us rearrange our home life schedule, sort of. So I'm having to kind of adjust. So that's why I haven't really been around lately, although I am making a massive effort to record videos in advance now so that I can post them regularly throughout the month so that you guys don't miss me too much or anything. So this is going to be a reading vlog. This weekend, as in from this evening, we're going to Woodstock because we're going to the Battle Proms. I've never been to before. Quill's parents went last year and they really enjoyed it, so they're taking us this year. So we're going this evening and then we're going to go out for dinner and then tomorrow is when the actual event starts. And I'm hoping it's going to be a ton of fun. So I will take you along with me. I do have to drive past Oxford because I offered to drive this evening and I'm a bit nervous about that. I just don't really like the Oxford Ring Road. If you live in the UK and you've been there, then you'll probably know why. Quill's at work today, so before I go I do need to get some food ready, so I need to go food shopping because tomorrow afternoon when the event starts we're going to take a picnic and just lounge around with cider and things. So that's something I need to do. I need to tidy up the flat a little bit because this happens in every single vlog. As for what I'm reading, I'm not actually in the middle of anything at the moment because I finished a book last night and I was going to pick up Bands of Mourning, but I didn't get a chance to, so I'm going to start this today. First of all, I'm going to record some videos because this is my only time to do that and I guess I can read later on and at the weekend, so I'm putting off reading in favour of recording. So I hope you're all grateful. I'm joking. I'm really looking forward to reading this, especially because I wasn't enjoying this new Mistborn trilogy so much until the ending of Shadows of Self because some new characters got introduced and I grew a lot more attached. So I'm going to try to start this one before we head off to Oxford, although I can't see myself getting very far into it because I've got a lot of recording to do. I think at the moment my reading vlogs will probably be Friday to Friday because that seems to work better for me, but we'll see, it might change. So I just got back from the shops and let me just show you what I got to take to the proms with me. So this is my kind of haul. Quill's parents are bringing a ton of food as well, so I just thought I'll get a couple of things. I got some corn cocktail sausages, which I've been told are very convincing. I wouldn't know myself, but yeah, apparently very convincing, which I'm happy about. Sausage rolls, which I've already had one of, but it's fine. We've got some leftover brie, some leftover cream crackers, got 2 packets of crisps and 4 bottles of cider. So I reckon it's going to be a really good picnic if this is only like half of the food. I did actually forget to get hummus, which I'm quite annoyed about because I was going to prep some carrot sticks and cucumber, but I didn't do that. I think now I'm actually going to do some reading. I'm going to pick up the Bands of Mourning. Would you focus? Because I have done most of the tidying up that I had to do. I've got another few things just to pick up. I'm going to do that in a bit. Quill will be back in roughly an hour. I've got some reading time basically and that's what I'm going to do now while I wait for him to get back, and then I can pack when he's here. But I can't really read when he's here, at least not when he's packing, so he'll undoubtedly need my help. So I'm going to go and pick up the book. I'm probably going to read outside because it's actually a really nice day. I would show you, but you can see things that might give away people's locations, although I'm sure none of you will actually, you know, stalk me, but just in case. Everyone, it's currently Monday and I had a decent weekend at the Battle Proms. I have hopefully inserted a clip. I'm really quite tired because the hotel that we stayed in wasn't the best. So the first night we stayed there, the room was absolutely sweltering and the hotel doesn't have any aircon. It's an old building made of stone, and so we had 2 fans, but the stones kind of like absorbed the heat. It was horrible in there, so we had the fans on, tried having the window open, but then it was also by a main road, so there were a lot of trucks coming and going,
so that wasn't great. So I spent the whole Battle Proms tired, and then the second night, I slept a lot better. I only woke up once because of the heat, but then the fire alarm went off 4 times at 10 to 8 in the morning. So that was Sunday morning yesterday, and I was so annoyed and so tired, and it went off 4 times, and then it went off a 5th time, but it took 4 alarms for someone to actually come upstairs and say it was a false alarm. So that was annoying. So after that we just decided to check out at 8:30 and then head home. So that wasn't fantastic, but otherwise I had a really good weekend. It was really enjoyable. I only did a little bit of reading. So for my audiobook that I'm listening to in the car, I'm listening to 21 Lessons for the 21st Century, which is non-fiction, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I keep coming home and giving Quill a summary of it because it's just so interesting. It's by the same author who wrote Sapiens and Homo Deus, and it's a really, really good book. I highly recommend it, especially as an audiobook, because the narrator is very good. For my physical book, I'm currently reading Bands of Mourning by Brandon Sanderson, and I'm only about 80 pages in, but I'm already enjoying this one a lot more than I was enjoying Shadows of Self at this same point in the story, because there are a lot more references to the previous Mistborn books and the kind of lore and religion surrounding those. So I'm really enjoying that. Today, or for the next 2 weeks, I'm covering someone at work, which was my promotion I think I spoke about a little while ago. So I'm doing that for a solid 2 weeks. It should be quite fun because it's something a bit different from my own job, I guess. And this week I'm on earlys as well, so I should be able to record some more videos, and I also need to edit like 6 or 7 at the moment, so yeah, I should be doing that this evening. I'll keep you updated on my day.
Hey everyone, this is just a really quick update. It's currently Wednesday morning. Nothing much has happened reading wise, so I have read 130 pages of Bands of Mourning and I'm really enjoying it. I do find Wayne's chapters quite confusing because he's kind of like all over the place, and I'm not a massive fan, but once we get back to Wax's chapters I find it a lot more engaging and there's more stuff going on. I do kind of enjoy Wayne's banter, it's just he's, yeah, all over the place and not such a fan. I've been reading this. I've almost finished 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. I think I have about an hour left of the audiobook, so I'll be finishing that today on the way to and from work. And then I also started The Chain, which is a new release for July. I can't remember which day it's coming out, but I did receive an advanced reader's copy and I'm enjoying it so far. It's just kind of an average thriller though. I mentioned this in my new releases video. It's about a woman whose daughter gets kidnapped and she receives a call that says she's now part of the chain. The only way to get her daughter back is to kidnap someone else's child. At the moment we're kind of following her as her daughter has been kidnapped and she's researching someone to do the same thing too. I'm not really emotionally attached to any of the characters, so it's kind of one of those thrillers where it's more action-packed than character-based. I'm enjoying it but not loving it, so I'm about 25 to 30% of the way through that, and I probably won't finish it today, but I'll definitely be finishing it this week before the Bibliothon starts, which is actually tomorrow, I think. I need to hurry up. Maybe I will finish it today. It's actually all a bit bright for me, so let me just move you around a bit. Why is the sun this way? Bloody hell. Okay, that's much better. There's a bit of shade. So we are coming to the end of my reading vlog because the Bibliothon starts this morning and I've got bibliothoning to do. So this is the end of this week's reading vlog. It's probably a bit shorter than I expected it to be and maybe you expected it to be, but it's my first one back, so you can't be too picky. I finished 2 books since I last spoke to you guys and I read a little bit more of the Bands of Mourning. To update you on this one, I've read 130 pages now. It's kind of slow going, partly because, like I mentioned, I'm not a massive fan of Wayne's chapters. I find them a bit confusing. It's not as captivating as the original trilogy, but I'm hoping it's going to get good because Brandon Sanderson's books tend to get better as they go on. So that's how that one's going. I'm going to probably continue it for the Bibliothon and hopefully it will match up with one of my challenges. Haven't quite decided yet because I've done a whole separate TBR, which you will have seen on Thursday, I believe. And then I also finished 2 books, like I said. So the first one is the audiobook I was listening to, and that is 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. It's non-fiction. It's basically what it says on the title. The author is talking about 21 different difficulties and things that are relevant to the 21st century and to us who are living in it. I always really enjoy hearing what this author has to say. I don't think it's for everyone because he spends a lot of time talking about how he's not a fan of religion, but that religion doesn't really make sense in the grand scheme of things. Bloody hell, this sun, honestly. I don't think it's for everyone, but I think if any of you want to read about where he thinks that the future for humans will go, then it's a really interesting one, because he talks about AIs taking our jobs, robots and things, the possibilities of having a robot war like in the science fiction books. He talks about Jewish people a lot, probably because he's from Israel. So I think it's really, really interesting. I really enjoyed it. I'm probably going to give it 4 stars. I also really like the narrator of these books as well. The second book I finished was The Chain, and unfortunately I didn't have such a good time with that one. It was very action thriller instead of like psychological domestic thriller, which is what I was hoping for, so that's disappointing. I should have known this from the Twitter campaign, I know, but I was hoping for something different, I think. I'm not a massive fan of action thrillers that involve like shootouts and car chases and police and the army, military, or anything like that. I like tight, small domestic thrillers. I think those are much more fun. I'm probably gonna give that one 2 stars. I didn't really enjoy it, and there weren't really any twists. And there was a big reveal that came out of nowhere at the end, like all of a sudden you're looking at flashbacks, and then they just started like midway through the book, and it was like, if they'd done flashbacks from the beginning it would have made more sense, but he didn't. So that was disappointing, a disappointing way to end the week. But I do have my TBR for Bibliothon up there. As you can see, I've got a lot of books to get through, and I'm hoping the Bibliothon will go better than this week has. I won't be doing daily vlogs for the Bibliothon, but I will be doing a weekly reading vlog for it, so I'll speak to you next week. Bye!